Welcome to our part 6 and last video of our Facing Our Fears mini-series. During all these weeks, we have covered a lot. And if you have missed the previous videos, you can go on Building Connected Communities YouTube channel and look for the videos. You can search Facing Our Fears, part 1, part 2, part 3, and so on, and you'll find everything. Okay? So we are going to move into our show now. So welcome, everyone, to the Coach Patricia B Show. In this show, I help guests move from making an investment in their fears and make an investment in their dreams instead. So they shift from placing the attention on their fears to placing the attention on their dreams. And I have Erin. I'm going to ask Erin to join us. She has come for the past 2 weeks, and we've been working on a few things. And we want to hear what's new and what has shifted. Hi, Erin.
Hi, Coach Patricia.
Hello. How are you doing?
I am so happy to be back with you. You are just amazing. I can't wait to tell you all about it, how my week has been.
Yeah, please do. I can't wait to hear.
So, after I tried Periscope last week, I found it to be so easy that I actually taught 2 other people that I work with how to join it. And they joined it, and then the people who own our company, they saw that we're all on it. And they have actually now, well, let me save that till the end. That's the cherry on the icing, the cherry on the sundae. But they have after last week, because I found that the Periscope was so easy, I thought of adding a new technology, trying a new one, or maybe 2 new ones. When the thought first came up, because I want to get to your the question that you had asked me last week. Notice when fear shows up and what it looks like. So when I had that thought, because there's 2 other technologies that I really did need to learn. So of course, after I had so much ease with the Periscope, I decided, well, I thought to myself, well, if that was so easy, maybe the other 2 will be easy. And so as soon as I thought that, my mind first said, why don't we try it? And then my mind said, whoa. That is not a good idea. And I heard that old voice come up say, that little whisper, you're not tech savvy. You don't do technology. So you asked me to notice when the fear is showing up. So I think that was fear showing up because I felt my hands go up. No. I heard the little voice whispering, this isn't you. You can't do this. You're not good at it. And I did feel my stomach kind of starting to do flip-flops at the thought of it. So I got a little bit nervous.
Yes.
And then you had also asked me when you're feeling fear or feeling stuck, what would help you come back to yourself? So we've had some nicer spring weather in my area over the past week. And so it hasn't been as cold and rainy and yucky. So when I felt that, I decided before I did anything else, before I took a step or anything, I grabbed my dog, put the leash on him, and we walked through the neighborhood. And we have this beautiful park in our neighborhood. And walking there always, I have noticed in the past that it always seems to clear my mind. And it gives me great ideas I get great ideas when I walk. So I appreciated you mentioning that as a technique or a suggestion, because once I thought about it, I realized, wait, this always helps me. So why wouldn't I use it now?
Mm-hmm.
So we went on a nice long walk. It was a beautiful, warm-ish, sunny day. And just going on that walk allowed me to confront that fear, confront that resistance. And, I really had that image, oh, I'm sticking myself in a box. And so I feel like walking and thinking that through allowed that box to be ripped off.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got back home, even though I still had a little bit of butterflies at the thought of trying these new things, when I went back home, I opened my computer and I dove right in.
Mm.
And I looked up some YouTube videos on how to use the different technologies and how to set up an account and, how to press play and all that stuff, or record or whatever it is. And I did it. I just dove in and I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you wouldn't believe this. You wouldn't even believe it. So now I know how to use Periscope, and I've done it a couple times this week.
Uh-huh.
Now I also know how to use Google Hangouts, which everybody was telling me about Google Hangouts. I didn't even know what it meant. That's how in the dark I was. Now I know what it means. I know how to use it, and I've used it this week.
Wow.
And guess what else I'm using? You'll never believe this.
What?
I'm using something called Blab. Isn't that a great name for a recording live thing? Mm-hmm. It's great. So much fun. So I even did that. Yes. So I am this week I've been knocking down, just blasting through all the things that are blocking me with technology. And I feel empowered, and I feel like I've been zapped with lightning, like good lightning. I'm energized. I can't wait to dive in and do more. Bring it on. I'm not afraid. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
Yes.
So
I love this.
The icing on the cake, or the cherry on the sundae, or whatever you want to say, is because I've had so much progress, I think, and I've faced those fears, and I've dove in, and I've done it, and I'm teaching my colleagues how to use this too. Mm-hmm. The powers that be have noticed, and I'm getting all of these opportunities. Look at this.
Wow. Yes.
Look at all of this. It's unbelievable. I don't even have words for it. Mm-hmm. I really don't. You have completely released me from something that has held me back for many, many, many years. And I feel as free as a bird.
It is so good to hear that. And I can see in everything about you. What I want to say, Erin, there are so many important points in everything that you shared, but what I did was shed the light, and you did the work. So this is all in you. It was in you all the time, right? So the capacity to learn, the capacity to hear the voice of fear. And sometimes we don't hear it as a voice, but you describe the physical sensation. That's very common. Now, I know that fear for me comes up in my chest. I feel tight, and, I start feeling a little like I can't think well. And then I know, okay, what am I afraid of? Okay. So, with the awareness, you began to recognize, but more important than awareness, you moved past awareness. You went into choice. So you had fear, and you had your desire, what you wanted to experience at work, right?
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And fear was here in the beginning. And if we use, you were placing a lot of money there in your fear.
Oh, right? I was placing all of it there.
You were placing all of it there. When you shifted that balance and you said, I choose the expansion, I choose the possibility, you shifted that, and it's like you got all that money that you were placing into the fear fund, and you placed it into the Forever Free Fund. And this, go ahead.
You know what I actually also did this week, which I'm really excited about? I took your advice and your guidance as kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a hypothetical, let me just give you an idea and you can play with it and see where it goes for you, with this idea of going from the Fear Fund to the Forever Free Fund. But I also took you literally. So what I did this week is I went and I opened up an investment account.
Oh. Ooh.
And I'm actually I've committed that I'm going to start. I don't have tons of money at this point. I mean, I had that big pile, but that was just from the recent opportunity that I was given this week. But I really think that there's going to be more financial gifts coming to me because of having this sense of freedom and willingness to go forward. And so I've committed to putting $5 a week for now into my forever, like a literal Forever Free Fund. And I hope that, as I keep going and growing, that I'll be able to grow that commitment each week too.
Yes. Wow. To take a physical action on an intention is extremely powerful. You've just created a magnet for yourself.
I like that, a magnet. Okay. That's good.
And if you think about it, how are we relating fear to money? It is absolutely true. That fear would not allow you to expand in your work.
No, it held me back horribly.
Right. So let's say you were making this amount of money. Now you're making more because there is an expanded version of you now. There is somebody who has discovered who she is, right? There is more Erin in your work. And
Absolutely.
It's spreading all over, not only in the immediate work, but you're already giving back. You're just sharing that with other people, and that continues to grow you. So it is incredibly inspiring. And I like that you discovered that something that you already liked, like walking, something that is already part of your life, actually served as a tool. You didn't need any extra time. You didn't need to go to the gym. Maybe that would have been. But what I mean is, it was right at your reach. What helped you come back to yourself and really feel strong and move past that fear was right at your reach. And it was something that you were already doing. So
yes,
this is amazing work. And I really thank you for sharing all this. And I hope that the audience is listening and really paying attention to these details, because your story is the story of many of us. Okay?
And I want to thank you too, Coach Patricia, because one of the biggest things I think that was holding me back even before the fear. So if you think of layers, even before, like the thing that I was sticking me, preventing me from moving forward before I even got to the fear, was the awareness of the fear. And so I think you just helping me to understand what fear looked like in my life and to recognize it and just say, oh, I know who you are. You are fear and you are stopping me, and I won't allow it anymore. So just bringing me to that awareness allowed me to go, okay, that's gone. But now I still have the fear. What do I do about that? And then that idea you gave me to come up with what works, which was, for me, it was the walk and the nice sunny day. So that allowed me to go, well, there's the fear. I recognize it. Now you're gone. And so now there's nothing in my path, and I'm wide open and ready to take on the world.
Yes.
So I so appreciate what you've done for me. And I definitely know why you have this radio show, because you are amazing. And I wish that every single person on the planet could get a chance to call in. And I feel very honored that I was able to, because you've done amazing things for me. And I hope that my story has somehow helped other people as well.
I'm sure it has, Erin. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coach Patricia.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Now we're going to talk to our next guest, Bridget. How are you?
Coach Patricia B, how are you?
How are you?
Oh my
Thank you
goodness.
for coming again.
Thank you. I am so excited to share this time with you. I have so many things to share.
I can't wait.
So last week we were talking and I had shared with you about permission and needing to give myself permission. And so you had asked me, what would I need to give myself permission? What would that look like for me? And so I really have been paying attention to my fear when it crops up and what permission looks like. And so I started putting sticky notes all over my house saying, yes, you can. Yes, you can. I believe in you. Because what I needed to remind myself is that even if I stumble, even if I fall, I still know that I'm good inside and that I am worth speaking my truth. I am worth stepping into my power. I've held it for so long, Coach Patricia B. I've just held it inside and it's affected so many of my relationships. It's affected so much of my work. I'm not being as authentic as I could be, as open as I want to be. And yet I'm expecting that of my clientele. So how can I expect that from someone else? And I'm not giving that to myself. So those notes all around my house and in my car and in my books and in my wallet, I mean, they're everywhere, but they are helping to remind me to step away from my fear and know that I can do it.
Yes. I am so glad to hear that. And I love that as you were speaking and you were describing how you were aware of the things, oh, if I'm not being authentic, if I am not showing up, and you're realizing that those are things, that awareness helps you choose to be authentic, to be yourself, to be more giving, to be more free, right? So again, the awareness piece is so important, but you took it further and you took action. And, to do that requires a lot of courage, Bridget. I commend you because especially when we don't feel like we have permission to be ourselves, it is so limiting. It is so difficult. It's painful.
It is painful.
Right? It's very painful. So it requires a lot of courage to say, I choose different. I choose to be me. And you asked for help, right? And here we are. And now you're talking to yourself. I love all the Post-its around the house because this is you. This is the voice you want to hear.
Yes.
Right? Even if there's that little voice still saying, don't go, that voice is trying to protect you.
Right.
But it protects you in a way that is not effective, right? It removes you from your experience, from your world. So you have created a visual voice for yourself with those Post-its.
Yes.
And I can see the shift in you. And tell me, like, from a scale to 0 to 10, how delicious is it to be you?
Oh my gosh. It's like the biggest, most beautiful peach on a hot summer day. It is just so ripe and juicy and delicious and fresh and pure. And what I really recognized was how me not embracing me was keeping everyone around me at a distance. I was dissatisfied. And how can we really be happy in other relationships if we're not happy with ourselves?
Yes.
So that limitation, that fear that I was wallowing in really was keeping me back in more ways than just my occupation and embracing my occupation. And I feel like right now the world is my oyster and there is nothing that I can't try.
Yeah.
Because you know why? Yes, I can.
Does it feel easier to be you?
It's getting easier. Yes. And I feel less resistance on the inside. More ease in my body and in my mind. And yeah, yeah, very fluid.
Yes.
I feel like a river and I'm flowing downstream. I'm not dammed up anymore.
Good. Awesome. So
Yeah.
I love the image of the river, because really that's the mission of the river, is to always go, right?
Yes.
Is to take everything, it's just, it feeds the earth, right? So rivers weren't made to be dammed, or I don't know how to say that, to be in a dam. They weren't made for that. So as you have done that, I want to point out all your Forever Free Fund, how it's
wow.
In the beginning, the first time we talked, you were really placing a lot of attention on your fears.
Mm-hmm.
And everything that you've said right now, with all this unleashing and this permission to be, even if you're still working through it, it doesn't matter. You're in a completely different place right now. You have understood the ease that comes with being you. And with that, you have just placed all that thought energy and financial too into something that is productive, into your dream. Now you can serve your clients better. Now your clients can say yes to you, right? Yes. So it will actually bring you money.
Yes.
Right? The fear was holding that money from, fear creates lack every single time. Mm-hmm. And I want to expand this vision for you, as this energy is really being placed into your clients. Just think about your kids. The fact that you have given permission to yourself, the path now. You know how to recognize when they're holding themselves back. And the way to unlock that.
Wow.
So every single time that we find a key for us, we find the key for others.
Yes.
We become more effective, and your kids are seeing the big mother, the big, shiny, beautiful, the full spectrum of who you are. And that's inspiring. That is necessary. I like to say that it's non-negotiable. It's where we want to be, and it's the space we want to hold for them and for everybody else. So thank you so much for the abundance that you're creating in your life and in everybody else that comes to your presence.
Coach Patricia B., thank you. I have struggled with this for almost 42 years, and I feel like I can finally let out a deep exhale and breathe in all of the goodness that you've helped to unlock for me. And I hope you know what a true treasure your time and your wisdom really are for myself and everyone you serve. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Be well.
Thanks, you too. All right. Now let's hear from our last guest.
Hi, Patricia B. I didn't want to miss this opportunity, but I have to tell you, I'm really sick. I have a sinus infection. So I'm going to try to share with you what I can. And you're so amazing as a coach that and a person that I just could not resist being on the show, even though I feel horrible. So you had asked me about ease, creating more ease in my work last week. And I looked up the word ease because I thought, I wonder what the definition really is. We all have our own thoughts around ease. And the definition that I read was absence of difficulty, simplicity, and gentleness. And I thought, wow, Coach Patricia B. knew what she was talking about, creating the absence of difficulty in my work and my life. Is a beautiful thing to bring ease. So this past week, I have been working on what that ease feels like, and really trying to think about ease in my work and simplicity. And I have found that I've done a couple of things a little bit differently. One is creating the boundaries. Every day I have an alarm actually on my phone that goes off at 5 o'clock, because that's when I think my time is up. I also have been meditating in the middle of the day to create more space and just keep me grounded. And excuse me. And I think this has helped me a lot just to clear my mind, because what I have found just in having the boundaries and having that opportunity to meditate is that I actually am getting more work done in a shorter period of time. And so, I look back and I think, why was I, doing all this? Why was I working so many hours and, craziness, that drive for perfection, trying to get everything done, when if I had just actually created boundaries for myself and, carved out some time to maybe meditate or even more self-care than that, I think I would have had this opportunity to move forward a lot quicker, but better now than never.
Yes.
And so I've also created intentions around my evenings as well. So when my buzzer, so to speak, goes off at 5 o'clock, I actually every night have kind of anticipated what I see that evening looking like, and creating space with my girls and my husband, and even connecting with friends who I feel I've, kind of left by the wayside because I've been so busy working all the time. So, whether it's been a conversation with my girls or, a friend, or, more games that I spoke of last week, or just, some form of connectedness. One night we meditated together. So it's, I'm really trying to think of ways to intentionally bring, the connection, and that heartwarming feeling, that I get when I feel that connection, bringing that to life. So, I think looking up the word ease, having you give me that question of, what does it look like when I'm doing enough, and how can I bring ease into my work, really pushed me forward in such an incredible way. So I really thank you for bringing out that word. I don't typically go to the dictionary for words like that, but I think it was really useful, activity to look that up.
Yeah.
So I think, one of the things I still struggle with is, keeping that self-care in practice. And now, having this really bad sinus infection, I realized more and more that I have to focus on that so that I'm taking good care of myself.
Yes. Well, Sue, I am just so happy to hear everything. And I think it's a fantastic technique that you used to discover what ease means, because we're not used to it, are we?
No.
Right?
No.
We're used to having the motor on all the time. And and society moves us in that direction. If you're not working, if you're not doing, it's like you're not being productive. There's always that push. So the definition is very interesting. It's the absence of difficulty, right? So it's like, let's drop what makes it difficult.
Exactly.
It's immediately, just like, okay, it's like dropping a fear.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So when you drop something that doesn't serve you, you immediately create a space that serves you. You also use the word connection, and connecting to the people you care. And what I heard when you were talking about what created more ease in your work was connection to self. Was the connection to yourself, because you chose meditation in the middle of the day, which would maybe feel counterintuitive, right? But you realized that was something that you needed. You honored the pause, and you connected to yourself. And when we do that, and we know what works for us, what happens is that we can listen to our internal GPS. And that GPS guides us in the best possible way in whatever we're doing, right? Ideas come easier. Writing emails come easier. Everything becomes easier when we are connected and when we drop what's difficult, right?
Absolutely. And I never thought that I would meditate during the middle of the day because that's prime working hours. But when I actually carved out the space to do that, as you said, it opened up more room to think more clearly, and it kind of broke up the day with the excuse me, with ease, more ease, and less difficulty. So yeah, I feel incredibly productive. I feel much more connected. You have been a godsend. You are just an amazing coach, and I don't know why I didn't think of coaching earlier. Everyone should have a coach to help them work through just the littlest of challenges. So I'm delighted that I was able to be on your show and to be part of this wonderful opportunity to move forward with grace and ease in my work and my connections to my family, and really letting go of that perfectionism and all that fear that was driving me to a place that was completely discomforting.
Yes, yes. So I do want to highlight before we finish our conversation, you were first placing all the money into your fear fund, right? Worrying, creating difficulty, creating constraints that were actually making profits harder, right? Relationships harder, energy harder, everything, right? So in the material world and in the energetic emotional world, you were creating lack. And just by releasing that one fear, just by letting go of that perfectionism, that one thing, you have shifted it completely to the other side and placed more, right? You've created more. You learned more about yourself. And you also realized that this is a work in progress, that there needs adjustments, right? You have this sinus infection right now, and you are aware that you want to take better care of yourself. But I want to say that the fact that you're here, even though you're not feeling well, shows how committed you are to that ease and to really being in the place that you want to be. So I really appreciate your presence, your effort. You pushed through something really difficult.
Thank you.
That's a powerful, powerful mask that we don't always see.
Yeah. Well, and it's thanks to you and your wonderful ability to really ask such pointed questions that made me really think and focus. So I thank you for all your help and support in helping me through that fear and moving past it.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Well, this is the end of the Coach Patricia B show. And now we are going to wrap up our 6-part mini-series on facing our fears. And ladies, if you could put your masks on. And I have this shining light over me just coming in. Okay. Well, so during these weeks, we covered a lot. In part one of our mini-series, we looked at the voices in our heads and made them a little more visible. In part 2, we looked at how those voices become our own voices and what that looked like in childhood and how they just grew and moved through adulthood, and how those voices that we heard in our childhood were still hindering and keeping us stuck. That happens to all of us, right? In part 3, what we did was we talked about the masks of fear. And some of those masks were perfectionism, were procrastination, denial, resistance, anger, sadness, and how that is what we're seeing on the outside, but really what's right underneath that mask is a fear, is a belief creating that mask. And then we moved through and we removed our masks. And in removing these masks, we went and showed what a process of going from identifying those fears and really choosing the life that you want, really choosing to have a more free experience. So we showed how freedom is possible for everybody. It starts with listening. It starts with awareness. And then there's choice. I don't want this to guide my life. I don't want this to be the force in my life. And then movement. We also looked at how fear creates lack. And because our thoughts are our currency. So if we are thinking fearful thoughts, we can't move. We can't be at the full expression of ourselves. There is less available to us. But when we take that fear, the investment that we're placing into fear in the fear fund, and we put that investment into the Forever Free fund, guess what happens, right? You become free. There is emotional freedom. There's financial freedom. There is mental freedom. You unleash your energy. There is freedom for the soul. We were all born free. The goal in this life is to release those patterns, is to know what's hindering us and really remove them. The world needs more people living from the beauty inside, living from that gem that we all are. Your creativity, your ideas, your love, your generosity, everything that makes you you is very necessary for everybody. So I hope that this mini-series has helped you. If you haven't watched the whole series, please go back, go on YouTube and look for Building Connected Communities channel. You can also look up using Facing Our Fears, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know that search works, and you can watch it. And even if you have, I would even say go and watch it again. We are very grateful that you were here listening to us. And ladies, do you want to say anything before we wrap up?
Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you again. Stay tuned for our next series. We'll announce that at a later date.
Yes. We can't hear you, Erin. You're muted.
See, I muted myself long ago. Thank you, everyone, is all I wanted to say. Thank you for your awesome support, and we hope that we've shined some light in some dark corners for you.
I'd like to say thank you as well, and thank you to Erin, Patricia, and Sue. This has been a very fun experience filming these 6 pieces of fear, and I would just like to say thank you.
If this serves as a little inspiration for you, we have all broken through our fears to do this series. Mm-hmm. Many.
Yes.
In a massive way.
This has been an incredible journey for us. We have been triggered too, and we've moved forward. So, this is what happens when you move through it. It's your destiny. Okay.
And also, I might add that we moved through it together.
Yes.
So I can't underestimate the power, or overestimate. I can't stress enough the power of community and the power of support. So, reach out to the people in your life who love you and support you, or reach out to us too. We're happy to support you in your journey.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.